Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farms, and I'm out here today to cut down a couple trees. So if you haven't already seen this on the channel, I have a new 30-foot by 60-foot equipment building that's going to set right here. It's been ordered. It's supposed to be here in 4 to 6 weeks, so I've got to get in gear and get the site ready. I've got an excavator rented for Monday, so I've got about 4 days to have this area completely cleared and ready to start digging. This tree here, I should be able to get down pretty quickly today. My only concern with it is that it may have a hollow section up through the center, which makes it more dangerous, and I'll have to factor that in. The second tree is a little bit bigger problem. It's got an active bee colony up inside the tree, and I've never really dealt with bees. So I have to find a way to get the bees out of that tree, and if possible, I'd like to do it without hurting the bees. So I've got everything cleaned up around the tree. I'm ready to start cutting. Now I've been cutting a lot of trees this year, but I try to treat each tree like the first one and give it the full respect it deserves. Stand back 50 yards and try to side up if there's any lean in all 4 directions, which way the heaviest branches are set. Are there any other hazards? A hazard right here is at the base of this tree, there's a big hole with a board hammered over it. For the most part, I see that on a bunch of these trees, and every other tree that is like that has bees in it. This one doesn't have any bees in it, but it apparently used to, so I know there's a hollow spot down here. The main trunk is actually dead and looks like it's hollow at the top. So most likely this entire tree is hollow in the middle. But I can't really know that till I put the saw in it. So my plan was I wanted to make a bore cut through the middle first, then make my wedge right in front of the bore cut. I find that it's easier to get my bore cut in the right space if I make it first. But I'm not going to be able to do that because I'm using the 500i, and it could handle a 36-inch bar, but I only have a 25 on it. So I'm going to have to make more of a traditional cut pattern on it. I may still try to use the bore cut and leave a back strap. We'll see when I get into it. One thing I'm going to do on this tree that I've never done before is cut it really high. The first time I saw this tactic was from Outdoors with the Morgans. He likes to cut his stumps or cut his trees off, 4 foot high, so that he can wiggle them and then tear them out with the excavator. The operator that's coming to run the excavator asked me to do the same thing. He actually said to leave it like 6 foot high, but I don't feel comfortable cutting above my head like that, and I don't want to make a platform or something to stand on. I cut a little bit deeper than I wanted to. I got a pretty good point right here. There's no Dutchman coming past, so that's good. You definitely want to make sure you don't have the Dutchman on there. I'm going to trace a line around the back of where I want this to hit. I was sure that this tree is soft in the middle, so I really wanted to make the bore cut work, but my bar just isn't long enough to get through the tree. Alright, so I'm happy with the way the cut came out. I've got a nice clean face down here. This cut was coming out exactly where I wanted it, but I hadn't even cut. I had all of this left, plus a hinge that was 4 or 5 inches wide. That tree was not so heavy on one side that it should have went that quickly. Honestly, I should have had to cut another 1.5 inches here and then pound wedges. What that tells you is that this part right here, while it wasn't hollow, this is soft. That's why it went down before I really thought it would, but everything was clear and it went exactly where I wanted it, so no problem really. I'll take you over now and I'll show you this other tree that has the bees in it and what my ideas are for how to deal with that. I don't know if the camera audio is picking it up, but I can hear those bees swarming right now. They've been really active today when I came out here to look at it. So right at ground level, you've got a big hollow triangle, and I don't want to pull this stuff back yet, but I'll try to get an up-close shot of what it looks like. So I spent the last month posting in Facebook groups about homesteading or the local beekeeping associations. There's a few clubs in this area that are just about bees that have meetings and the whole thing. And I've posted in their groups, I've talked to the presidents of the clubs, I've called everywhere, offering to pay someone to help me with these bees. I've not found a single person. A couple people said maybe they could get to it, and now here we are a month later and I've got to have it down in 3 days and still nobody's shown up. So what I'm going to do is try to handle it myself. That'll probably be tomorrow. I want to read the comments on this video and maybe someone will have a suggestion that helps me. The 2 ideas I have is, 1, to cut it off. First, obviously, I get protective gear, smoke the bees a little bit, cut the tree off, then try to cut the bottom and leave them in the tree. I don't think that's going to work at all though. I've had a suggestion to do that and just leave the section with the bees in it as it is and move it out of the way and until someone can come deal with it. I just don't think that'll work. If it was up high, maybe, but the way it is, I just don't see it. So my second option is to use a shop vac and a storage tote to try to suck all the bees out and contain them in there. They say that it's easy to get most of the bees that way. The difficulty is if you can't get the queen. The queen will be buried way up in there and not come out for anything. And if you don't get the queen out, no matter what you do with the bees, they're going to try to come back here. I think they might even die if you take them far enough away they can't find the queen. But anyway, this is just my theories on a little bit of light reading. I'm going to watch some more videos. I'm going to read your suggestions. And either tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to try to take this tree down and try to get the bees out. I'm completely open to setting up a bee box or whatever they call those wooden hives that they sell. I'm completely open to setting that up and caring for the bees and learning how to do it all, but I need a quick answer. So anyway, I appreciate you taking time to watch this video. Just a minute, you'll see links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.